Okay, it's time for yet another episode of Go Talk. I'm Kevin, and today I'm with Stephanie Yin. Say hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
Stephanie you're a one-dan Chinese pro, right?
Yes.
And then you also have been really active in the American Go scene, and we've interacted a lot of times, at Go Congress. So,
Yes.
yay,
Had a
Stephanie.
lot of fun.
I guess let's start by talking about this passing weekend you played in the Gotham Go tournament, right?
Yeah, I did play a pair go tournament. I didn't play the individual the individual tournament.
Oh,
It,
really?
yeah, it has two tournaments happening was happening in during the weekend. On Saturday they have the individual tournament, and on Sunday we had a pair go tournament.
How did you do in the Pergo?
We won the
Oh,
first
cool.
place.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
I heard many times that when you do Pergo, it's not the same as playing just by yourself, where you actually have to worry about in some ways like your compatibility with who you're playing, not to play something you know, they don't know. Is that usually the case?
Yes. So first thing that the most important thing is you have to understand what your partner does, or you should have like a mentally connection with your partner. Yeah, it's very important to
Okay.
understand each other, to understand the moves that your opponent want. No, your partner wants to play.
Okay. And so I mean like how if you're actually really serious about this, what type of thing do you do? Do you just play a lot of games with them or do you talk about and try and understand how they play or do you just know this person plays a lot like me, so maybe we can be a good pair go couple.
Um, um, I think if we really or if we seriously want to play in a tournament, we should have practiced a lot. Like normally, me or my partner and I will play a game together against one person.
Oh, one person.
Yeah, so you will help us to understand each other, because that person is one person. He or she is going to play against us. So everyone, me and my partner will play every move. It will help us to understand each other during the game, practice games.
So that way it's not just two different type of personalities. It's just one personality, and you can understand each other better.
Yeah, right.
Oh, cool, cool. And well, congratulations on winning.
Thank you.
The thing I most wanted to bring you to talk with us about, or talk with me about, is because you're a professional, and then I think uh, there are a lot of professionals in America, but I think you're one of the more younger professionals that's, well, Chinese, but also just helping out in the, professional and helping out people.
Mhm.
The thing I want to talk to you about is sort of becoming a professional. Um, what age were you when you sort of started first playing Go?
I started learning Go when I was 7 years old because of my father. He is a huge fan of Go, so he likes to play so much. And then my first teacher was my father.
Okay. And then, so at what point did you make the decision to say, I'm going to try to become a professional? Like, what age were you?
What age is probably around 12 years old.
Okay, so about after 5 years in the game. And then,
Yeah. Yes.
and I know I interviewed Wang Tan and then Tong
Mm-hmm.
Yuling at US Go Congress.
Mm-hmm.
And they both said, there was a teacher usually that saw them play and said, okay, this person has a chance. Was it the same thing with you?
Yes. When I actually improved very fast when I started learning Go. After I think half year or 1 year, um, when I was learning Go, and then I won the first place for the elementary school students tournament.
Hmm.
So so at that point, my teacher and my father thought maybe I had some talent on Go, and then they sent me to a professional Go school.
Oh wow! So it was after winning first place. They said, "Oh, she has talent."
Yeah, yeah.
So after you the well, let's talk about when the decision is being made
Mhm.
because it's a pretty big deal. I
Yeah.
think some people, if you become a professional, it becomes it's sort of choosing your job, especially really young.
Hmm.
What sort of when that decision was brought to you? What is there much that you were able to think about or understand what choice were you making, or was it just your parents said it was cool and you said I wanted to try doing it?
Um, Actually, I made that decision by myself.
Oh.
Yeah, back to our conversation earlier. I told you after I win the elementary student tournament, and then my parents and my teacher sent me to a professional Go school, right?
Hmm.
And after I trained in that professional Go school, actually I went back to my hometown
Okay.
and stopped the training or stopped learning anything related to Go
Oh.
because at that time I was third grade, maybe fourth grade, and my parents and my teacher think, okay, maybe it's too extreme for a student just to give up studying in a normal school and become a professional Go players.
I see.
So, and at that time I was very young. So I listened to my parents and my teacher, and I went back to my hometown and I studied in a normal school. But after 1.5 years, I realized I really wanted to study Go again. And then my parents and my teacher thought, okay, so maybe we should give Ming another chance because she is so willing to become pro, and she's really um, engaged to become a professional or learning Go. So that was my second time to go to a professional Go school.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, so that's pretty much. At
So
that point, my parents and I and my teacher decided, okay, so I should study and I should become a pro when I was 12 years old.
okay.
Second time to go to a professional Go school.
So the first time was your parents said, "Okay, maybe this is too much," and then the second time you're like, "No, this is what I really want to push
Yeah,
myself
because
in."
the first time I only studied in a professional Go school for around 1 year. And then at that time, my parents and my teacher, even me, we were not sure about whether I really want to become pro because I was still young. I have a choices, right?
Hmm.
So either I can study in a normal school and go to college or become a pro. But it's a very tough decision. So my parents brought me back to the my hometown when I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I studied in a normal school and stopped the learning Go, I realized, and my parents also realized actually I really wanted to keep learning. I enjoyed playing Go. So that's why I told my parents, I said, I need to go to Beijing again. I need to study. I want to become pro.
So was it really hard after, like, I guess the time you had away to come back and start becoming a pro again, or was it just pretty easy to? Because people say if I don't play Go for a year or two, everything I might not play as well. Was that the same? Was it really hard to go back and start studying again, or were you really eager and it was pretty easy to start training to become a pro again?
um, it's not that difficult to pick up the I mean the skills that you lost because even though I stopped learning Go, but sometimes I play tournaments and I practice I play some practice games online. So it's not that difficult to study again in a professional Go school. But the decision is really tough.
Yeah.
Whether yeah.
So, so the one thing that I was really interested in a lot of the talks I had was Tong Yuling.
Hmm.
He said when he became he really liked Go, and then when he started studying to become pro, it was actually for him. It became a little bit more boring. He said it was sort of a responsibility, and then that the only thing that he was the only concern for a lot of it was just only to win. It wasn't really to have fun or to
Hmm.
enjoy the game. Did was any of that happen with you, or do you understand where he was coming from with that?
Yes, I totally understand, and I believe most of I shouldn't say every professional, but I believe most of professional feel the same way.
Really,
Because huh?
really,
Yes, um, because professional live. I mean, everything about their life is a goal. So they have a lot of pressure. They don't like amateur players. They enjoy playing. They don't. Some amateur players only when they play Go, they have fun, right?
hmm
They don't really care about losing or winning. But for professionals, the only thing they care about is winning. So, which means they have a lot of pressure because every game they want to do is just to win the game.
right. So did you have that problem too, where it became less fun and became more well when you're taking it on as a job? But did that happen to you as well? What Tony Ling was saying with the responsibilities and it becoming slightly boring?
Um, I would not say boring, but I would say much stress or much pressure
I
when you
see.
become a pro. Yeah, because I don't think for me, I don't think it is boring because I can't say I can tell why he said it boring because we have to go to the school or the Qiyuan and practice every day and read the Qipu and play practice games. So it pretty much every day it's the same.
I see.
So yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
So um the other part of it is I think every amateur or
Hmm.
sometimes every kid amateur in America. So at some point they think, "Oh, I want to become pro," it's something I think I can do. And sometimes they have the strength to do it and sometimes they might be, like a Q and an amateur and they don't really understand just how much work is being put into it. Sort of when you were studying to become pro and you said that every day was go, do
Hmm.
you have a do you have an idea? Can you give us an idea of like how much work you had to do, like every day or maybe every week
Yes, sure. You mean before or after you
before you
become?
became pro?
Oh, okay. Before I can, okay. So my situation is a little different from other people because at that time I study in a normal school and practice at the same time.
Oh,
So yeah, so but I can tell you my experience and normally people other professionals experience. So normally for most of a professional who only no I mean for most of the people who want to become pro and they stop the learning in a normal school. So
oh,
they yeah they practice Go every day. They we need to be at our Go school at 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe 8:30, around 8:30 to 9 o'clock, and then we started playing a practice game in the morning, and then we have a lunch break, and we need to go back on around 1:30 or 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So we after 2 o'clock, we still need to play another practice game, and then we will have a dinner break, and then
Oh,
come back at 6:30 or 7 o'clock, and the teacher will give us a game review or some lectures.
I see.
And after we have the game review and the lectures, probably it will the school activity will end around 9 o'clock or 8:30, and after that it's our personal time. But everybody use her personal time to practice, like do the life and death problems and read professional games and do a lot of things. But it's all
Oh,
about go.
oh, it's a lot of Go. Wow, that's
Yes. Hello.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the internet's cutting out, but I think
Yeah.
we might be fine.
Did you get it?
Yeah,
Did you?
like
Okay.
go like for 12 hours other than eating food.
Yeah. Right. But my at that time my time is a little different because in the
Oh, hello.
normally I have to be in my normal school. Yes.
Oh, okay, you're back.
Did
You're
you
back.
say something?
No, no, you're here. You're fine.
Okay. Oh yeah, the internet is really unstable. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay.
just sometimes it cuts out, so I need to make sure. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah. So my schedule was a little different from other people. So when you study in a normal school, especially in a high school, you have to be at school, normal school around 7:30. So normally I have to get up at the 6 or 6:30, and then I study in a normal school until 12:30. And then I had my lunch break, and then at 1:30 I have to be in my go school to make up the games that I miss in the morning. So
Oh,
normally I need to be at a go school earlier than other people in order to play that game that I missed in the morning.
I see.
And then after the school activity ends,
Hmm.
I have to go back to my home to do my homework, and then and after I did my homework, I still need to do the life and death uh, problems and professional games. So normally I will go to bed around 11:30 or 12, and I have to get up around 6 o'clock. So basically, I only have a 6 hours sleep every day.
Gosh, that's
It's
a
really tough. Yeah.
that's really tough. I that must have so that very impressive that you could all do that and still um become pro. So you decided to become well, you made the decision to do school and become a Go professional at 12. What age did you become a Go professional at? Like, did you?
Almost 17.
Okay, so that
Almost
was
17. 5 years.
5 years. And is
Yeah.
that 5 years of taking the pro exam every time and trying to pass it? Or
Yes. Yes.
okay,
I did this the sixth time I became pro.
okay,
Yeah.
gosh. So
And the fifth time it was my closest time, and I almost gave up because
really,
I was third. Yeah, I was third, and they only got two people can become pro at that time.
oh, I see.
So I was third, and at that time, I think I was be able to become pro, but I just lost a little bit about luck.
Really.
So, yes.
So when you say when a professional talks about luck, what are they referring to? Because a lot of people I've heard sometimes I forgot his name. I translated for him once at the Go Congress, but he said he said that 10% of all Go games were luck. Like if you were gonna win a Go games, 10% of it was luck, and he was saying sometimes it's how you feel or if you just accidentally misread something or something like that. When you talk about luck in
Mhm.
terms of the Go game, what are you typically talking about?
Okay. According to my teacher, Nie Wei Ping,
Mm-hmm.
he said when you play a tournament, 40 to 50% is your skill, and 20% to 30%, maybe 20, around 20% is your mentality, is your 心态,
Mm-hmm.
it's the mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the rest of it is your luck. So so I think this is very correct definition when you play a tournament. My understanding of the of luck is like, for example, sometimes you play against your opponent, like maybe she or he is your schoolmate or your classmate, but normally you can win like more games than your opponent does, but it happens in the tournament and you just lost him.
Mm.
But for the total record, you're ahead, you know?
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
So
because in the tournament, you only have a one chance. But sometimes maybe you didn't see it and you made a mistake and then you lost the game.
I see. So it's
Yeah.
like you could win 7 games and lose 3 games to this person, but that one game that you lost might be at the tournament.
Yeah.
So wow. So so I guess that makes me understand luck a little bit better because so also I guess I'm curious what's the pro exam test like, and especially in China. What does it feel like? How stressed out are you? And like what how many games do you play a day? And what's it generally like?
Um, okay, so we have a pro exams on we have a female pro exams and a male pro exams. So for female, we have 11 games total, and for male, it is 13 games. But they have a pre exam, which
Oh,
means, yeah, they have a pre exam. So like, for example, there are 600 people who are playing in the pre exam, and then only 200 people can get in the final pro exam. But
and
for female, we don't have a pre exam because we only have around 100 or 150 female players.
mm-hmm.
Yes. So but we for female, we only have a two female players that can become pro. But for male players, they have 18, 16, 18 people. So because they have more people, we have
Right,
less people. So that's fair. But when you play a tournament, it's really intense, very and also very stressful. Very stressful.
right.
Yeah,
Because
especially for female pro tournaments because they have more chance than us because we only have a two people. They
mm-hmm.
have 18 people. So at the beginning of the tournament, if you lose one game or two games, which means you don't have any chance to become a pro.
Wow. So what
Yeah.
happened? How does that person feel after they've lost their like if they're so unlucky enough that they lose their first 2 games, they still have to play the next 9 games,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and also, if you lose 5 games, then you eliminate it. So you are not allowed to play anymore if
Okay.
you lose 5 games. Yeah.
Wow. So
So it's very
that's how
crazy, right?
it's crazy. I that's even and how many games are you guys playing a day? Or is it 1 game a day or is it 2 games a day?
Two games a day.
Okay. So it's in a
Yeah.
week it's over.
Yes, right.
So gosh, that's that's a lot of stress. And how did
Yes.
how did you deal with it when you had to do the protest? Like how did you deal with the stress or maybe dealing with winning or losing? Like how did you when you let's say one of the years the first day you play your first game and then you win. Do you go
Mm-hmm.
review it or do you just relax and start worrying about the next person that you're going to have to play?
Normally, we don't reveal the games during the tournament because it was already passed, right?
Hmm.
So normally I will do because the time is really intense too. So after I finish the first game, I will just have lunch and then I need to take a nap and just yeah, relax and to be prepared for the next game.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah,
my teacher once liked to say that when tournaments or when she had to actually play, it was really important just to get your mind in that
clear.
way cleared and willing to play Go and also rested to play Go. So that
Right.
does make sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, but yeah, that's also an interesting thing about pros and just being used to that environment. And also I
Hmm.
guess it goes back to what we were saying about the mentality of pros about this is your job and you really have to win.
Hmm.
There's a funny story I heard once from Andrew Jackson where he tried to make you say, "I resign," and you really, really didn't like to say it. And it's interesting because uh, to me, like losing a game isn't so bad, but to you, just even saying the phrase "I resign" or "I've lost" is really painful, right?
Yes, for professional players, yes.
So how do you so in those days in a professional situation or maybe even in the pro exam, how do you
Mhm.
is there something you found to get over a loss or deal with losing so it didn't affect your next game?
Mm, uh, you mean for the pro tournament?
Yeah, or just tournaments in general. Yeah.
Okay, so for the pro tournament, the year that I became pro, I win all of the games.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't lose any game
That's good.
because I know I have to win. I have to win. If you lose the game
Hmm.
before the seventh round, then you don't have a chance to become pro. So you have to keep winning until maybe if you lose on a ninth round or 10th round, maybe you have a chance. But before that, if you lose a game, you don't have chance to become pro anymore.
Oh, it's that. So it's
Yeah,
that obvious when that
yeah,
happens.
it's very obvious because we only have a two people can become pro.
Right.
So, but yeah, sometimes I need to deal with I don't win all the time, right?
Right.
I
It's
also
very
I,
difficult.
I lose sometimes. Um, so normally, yeah, I would be very very upset if I if I lose a game. Um, sometimes I don't like to talk to people after I lose game. I just be very quiet and go to dinner, go eat dinner and do everything by myself. I
Yeah.
don't talk. It happens to every professional. So we know. So when our friends probably, for example, they lose the game in the tournament, then we leave him alone. We don't talk to them
Oh, I
because
see.
we know he or she doesn't want to talk.
Right. I it's not exactly the same, but sometimes I have the same feeling in the U.S. Open where I spent so much energy and then I lose, and I just don't
Mhm.
want to talk about it. Or even if I win, and sometimes my friends are like, "Do you want to review it?" And it's like I spent so long and I lost, and I don't
Mhm.
feel happy about it. And
Mhm.
definitely, yeah, I understand like how
Yeah.
after you lose, you just don't want to. Maybe
We
the
we don't
best thing is just to
right.
leave people alone.
Yeah. But sometimes it's not like every time we do the same thing. Like sometimes we like to invite our friends, like other pros, to review the games.
Hmm.
Uh to see where we made a mistake, and then after that your friends or my friends or other people, other pros will say, okay, Stephanie, that's fine, let's go to dinner, let's just forget about it, and then you will feel better. Yes,
That's
you
good.
will feel better. Yeah.
So
So
let's talk about the moment that you won that last game and you knew you became a pro. What did that feel like? Like what was going through your mind? Was it do you remember the game that you won?
yes, I still remember.
Okay. So did you win it by resign or did you win it by counting?
Um, So I played 11 games, right? So when I win the ninth game,
Mm-hmm.
I already knew I became pro. But
Oh.
for the last two games, I still won. Yeah.
Okay, so the
So
one that you knew that you became pro was the ninth game, but you still had two more to
yes,
play.
yes, right. So when I won the 10th game, and then we had a 1 day break.
Mhm.
So I after 10 games, I'm 100% sure I became pro. So on that day, I I played a poker with my friends whole night.
You just celebrated. Just I'm just
Yeah,
gonna play
so
poker.
right. So I feel like free,
Oh,
totally.
and
Yeah.
did you win that by resigning or did you win that by counting? Do you remember?
I won 1.5 point on
Oh,
that
okay.
game.
That's
Yes.
also an interesting thing. When amateurs play, when it's a 10 point, I guess up to like let's say like 3 dan AGA, like a ten
Mhm.
point difference, it's still close. But then
Mhm.
and then when you get stronger and stronger, it becomes less, and it has that like Comey becomes close, and then it's like 3 points becomes close. When it's 1.5 points, you did you already know you're going to win, or did you just feel like I have a good feeling and it's really close?
Oh,
Like,
you have to know.
oh, you have to know.
Yeah, you have to know because it's very close, right? So when you play when you play on at end game, you should already know that you are winning around like 1.5 points or 2 points around that.
Okay.
If you don't make mistakes, yeah.
So then, if it's that obvious, then how does the opponent not just say I resign? Is it just because they don't want to say I resign?
Because even though we know we would lose 1.5 point, but we still want to try because we want to wait whether your opponent will make mistake, right?
I see.
So we still want to play until the game finished.
I see. Okay,
Hmm.
cool. And so that was becoming a pro, and it's a few years too late, but congratulations on becoming a pro. Um,
Thank
what happens after you become the pro? There's a my teacher once said that after you become a pro, you don't really have a teacher anymore. You're your own. You have to figure a lot of it out in yourself, or you there's no one just to always teach you. Um,
you.
and also, I've heard there was I think he was 9 dan. I forget. Forgive me if you're out there and you're listening. I think it was Liang Wei Tang. He said
Okay.
um, that even after you become a pro, you sort of have a deadline to really become good. Otherwise, usually people say, okay, just go home and go start teaching Go. So, what usually happens after you've become pro? Like
Okay.
some things.
Okay, I see. I understand. So that situation will be different between female players and the male players.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because in China, we only have around active 15 or 20 female players, or 30, maximum 30 female players.
Oh,
Yes, for the professional, because I told you like every year we only have two people.
right,
So see, 10 years you only have 20 people, right?
right.
So in China, we only have around 30 active professional female players, but for male players, they have a lot. They have a 300 probably.
Oh, I see.
So if you want to become very top, you have to pay a lot. You have to practice. You have to win the game. So for some of professionals, they're like a lower dan level, like below 5 dan,
Mm-hmm.
and then probably they're around like 40 years old. They stopped the practicing
Mm-hmm.
instead of they started the teaching because it's 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 more difficult for them to win a games or to become that strong at the top.
Right. Yeah, and I remember him saying that. tournaments require just so much energy just to do that
Yeah.
when you're young you have all that energy, and when you get older you might not have that energy unless you're really strong at Go.
Yes, right. And also some of the pro tournaments they have a number limits. So only the top 64 top 64 players can join that tournament.
Oh, I
So
see.
like for example below four they really don't have that many chance. Even though they want to win, they can't
Oh,
even qualify for the tournament.
oh man, that's a
Yeah.
really, yeah,
So,
that's
but
a very
for
cruel.
female players, yeah, that's very cruel. Because tournament takes time. So if 300 people are going to join the tournament, it will take forever to finish.
Right.
Yeah.
So what about for females?
For females, we normally we don't have a age limits or the number limits because we only have a limited players.
Hmm.
So for females, we have a more chance to win tournaments. We have a lot of more chance than male players.
I see.
Yeah.
And then what about the whole statement about once you become pro, you don't really have a teacher. You can't really have a teacher anymore. You can't just go up to your old teacher and just like, please help me with this, or like what happens in that way when you become a pro?
That's very difficult actually because people will say, okay, we are all professionals, so I'm not your teacher, but actually they're stronger than us. They're still our teachers.
Right.
Yeah, um so we for female players, we always need to go to the practice room and ask for help. Like, can you review our games, please? And can you talk about it to your games? Sometimes, yeah, like that.
I see. Now when
Mm-hmm.
now when pros are stronger than each other, I know that the differences are there's still people stronger than you, but I know sometimes people will say, you can't really compare the ranks, and you can never know how much stronger a person is than each other. Um, so like when you say that someone's stronger than you, is it just everything, and they're able to, like, how do you know someone's when you say someone's stronger than you, how much stronger than you are they? Does that make
Okay.
sense? Like,
Yeah,
is it
makes
is
sense.
it is it like if I was like if I was a 5Q, is that me going to a 5Q and asking a 1 don for help, or is it like a 5Q asking like a 2Q for help? Like, what
Okay.
strength
Yeah,
difference
I
is it?
understand. I understand what you're saying. So normally for female players, normally in every country, in Japan, in Korea, or in China, the top like I think the top 50 male players are always stronger than female players.
Mm-hmm.
So normally we practice at the same room.
Mm-hmm.
So we always ask them for help. They're very strong. They have a like in Chinese we call the 大局. So it's a bigger, broader picture.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a better understanding on Go.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool. And so
So like for some yeah. Go ahead.
no,
Sorry.
no. So
The
for some of the bigger things, maybe something that you're missing or not understanding, they might be able to explain it.
yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because for the life and death problems or for other like end game problem, if you read, if you spend time on it, you can improve, you can become better.
Mm,
But for the better understanding or for the broader picture on Go, it's something that you cannot teach yourself. You cannot become better. So you need ask somebody's advice or help.
I see.
So they will teach you like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I always wondered it because it's obviously going to be different, but like I thought of it like if I got two AGA 1 dons to try
Mm-hmm.
and teach me one person's, maybe it's because of how it is, but one person's fundamentals might be different than the other, and so they might end up arguing, and you might not ever get a good answer. So I always wondered if pros had that, where if you took your game and you took it to one pro, you'd get a different answer than the other pro, and then you wouldn't know, what you did wrong or what you should be doing better. Does
Right.
does that but that problem doesn't really show up?
Uh, so it depends on the people, on the person's level. Like for example, you asked me 5Q, right? And whether 5Q player should ask one down player or pro
Mm-hmm.
but I think like for five Q players, maybe down level can answer the questions for them.
Oh,
But for example, your down players, you need a you need a better teacher to teach you the conceptual questions.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um. Okay. That's cool. Let's talk about how you are now. You're really active in Well, actually, the first thing I want to know is when you play games now, what is it like if you're playing in the Open in the Masters tournament? I think this year you were in the Masters tournament. Is how serious are they to you? How like because they're very serious. They're very big name tournaments. Do you put in the same amount of stress that you do like if you were gonna play a tournament in China? Like how do
Mm,
they feel to you? Are you able to have more of a fun time playing Go, or is it still a very stressful you must win pro attitude that you go into it with?
um, so for every professional, when you play a game, no matter it's a tournament or a practice game, the only thing you want to do is win.
Oh,
So so we'll put same amount of your energy and your attitude.
okay.
And I still remember, did you go to the Boston event? No, no,
No, I
probably not. For the Chanchi Cup, right?
hmm
Okay. So I played against American Pro. I couldn't remember who I played, but Andy sit next to me, and he said, "Stephanie, you are so serious," because I was counting the points and counting the end game, and he said. Oh, Stephanie, look, Stephanie is a real pro because only a real pro will be serious about every game he plays or she plays.
I see.
So, yeah, so I believe like every professional players, they no matter what games they're going to play, they always want to win
Mm.
when they started playing. Yeah.
Now, I I no, it's a good answer. I asked the other side of it is also um because I think I asked Tong Yuling this question, and
Hmm.
the question was sort of like if you see a move that's interesting but might not necessarily give you a win, like that you
Hmm.
just think, oh, looks interesting, would you be willing to do it? And he said, because in his situation he needs to win and the urge to win is so strong, he'll probably do the more secure way of winning instead of like a risky way of winning. Is that the same thing with you? Do you get to find find ways to experiment and try new things and Go, or is it mostly okay? This is what's going to win.
I would choose the same way as
Really?
Tony does. Yes, I would choose the secure ways to finish the game. But when we review the game, probably I will try the other way,
Okay,
the
so
way.
so in a way, like the ways you experiment is a lot of it's in the review rather than playing the game.
Yes, because when you're playing games, like what is said, every professional want to win, so we don't take risk, right?
Oh,
So
right, yeah,
during the games, yes. So always try to find the most secure way to finish the game instead of choosing unsecure
right.
moves. Yeah.
So another thing that I always wondered that must be sort of stressful is when they have you go and you have to do game commentaries for, let's say, like Kujia or someone at the Changchi Cup who's really, really strong. What's going through your mind when you're doing a live game commentary for someone that's, a very, very strong professional? Like, how do you work that out?
Uh, Yes, I did that in Boston, but I didn't do that by myself because I was scared, and I don't. Their level is too high, and their moves are very complicated. I don't even understand sometimes.
Right.
So I did that with Yubing Naidan. So
Okay.
normally I will find a partners who can have a better understanding on the games. Then we work together to do the live commentary.
So are
Yes.
there moments when they play move and you just look at it and you're like, I have no idea why they played that, or do you still have to just does it just take longer and you just stare at it and you think, okay, maybe I know what they did. Like, what
Yes,
does it feel?
I will try to understand what they meant about that moves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, majority of the moves that I can understand, but sometimes it's really complicated. Even non players, they don't understand why those pros play that move. So normally, they will do the game review, and the teacher, or not the teacher, the nine down players will ask the players why they play there,
Oh.
because the only players know their soft.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might a
It's
few
really
times,
stressful when you look at the other very strong professionals game.
and then you have like 20 people staring at you like, what does this
Yes,
game mean?
and
And
they're
you're
waiting for the answers, but you don't even know.
like, yeah, I that's really cool though. I mean, just being able to do that. Uh, so there's that, and let's talk about what you do now within the Go world. Like, what's your interaction with the Go world, be it AGA or Chinese Go? What do you do now with a lot of that?
Uh, okay, so for now, I don't have any official work or title between AGA and the Chinese Go Association. But in Boston, I talked with a lot of professional nine dan players like Xiao Weigang and Yu Bing and other pros. They really like to promote the Go community and the market in the US, and they like to contribute something.
Mm-hmm.
So right now because I'm teaching now, and most of my students are beginners, and I have the same willing, and I'm doing my best to try to promote Go and teach more students or more people to know about Go. So we all hope that more and more people will like playing Go in the US. And I think AGA has the same willing too.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, like everybody at the same page, they like to promote the Go community and the market
Mm.
in the US. Yeah.
Okay. And how often do you play Go now? Do you like is it do you play in a club? Do you just play online like maybe once a week or how often do you play Go?
I play Go every day, but it's only teaching games.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, sometimes I play online because I'm still interested in the Go news about China and Korea and Japan everywhere, and some of my pro friends are playing, so I watch their playing, and then we also do the review online
Oh,
with them.
cool.
Yeah.
And okay, and uh I guess on time we can do one or two more questions. I think we're hitting the near the hour mark. So,
Okay.
let's see. I think something really interesting that I heard once was that Go is still changing, which is
Mm-hmm.
obvious, but that maybe in the someone who learned Go in the 80s is going to play different than someone who learned Go in the 90s, and then someone who maybe learned Go in the 2000s and now in the 2010s. How
Mm-hmm.
have you seen Go change from your perspective as a professional? Like,
Mm.
I think from what I've heard now is that it's it used to be really about beautiful shapes, and it says even if the ugly shape will get you the win, just play the ugly shape. Like how have you seen it change?
Okay. Yes, Go changes very much and very fast. I think right now modern style is more about efficiency instead of a beauty shape.
Okay.
So like, yes.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, so in 90s, maybe not. I mean, in 70s or 80s, people focus on the building shapes and whether they have a they have a very good shapes, and you don't play a very ugly shapes. But nowadays, people only care about if the move works or not.
Mm,
It doesn't matter if, even though the shape probably looks very bad, but if you can kill, if you can if you can make this work, this move work, then it doesn't matter.
mm. Does that make
So
it easier for you? Is it a little bit more freeing to does it probably feel a little bit more free to be able to think that way, or is it much harder now because then you can't just say, okay, I know what good shape looks like, so maybe I can just do good shape. Like, how does it feel to you just watching this or having to play or see things like this?
Of course, the building shapes style is more looks better, and is better and is easier for people to understand.
Mhm.
But for modern style, like efficiency, you all you need to do is read. Is to read whether the move is going to work or not.
Mm.
So it's more difficult and it's more sort of stressful to see because they have a lot of readings on that move. A lot people are read so many moves ahead. So
Right.
it's
I
yeah.
think that's a major thing about I think professional Go players. I think there's just a lot of stress with reading, with needing to win and everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Um I think okay, let's say what are your hopes for maybe Go or what you playing Go or just the Go world in general, let's say in the next let's say 5 years. 5 years from now. What would you like to see either with you or with the Go world?
Okay, with me, of course, I hope more and more people started playing Go and like Go. So this is what am I doing right now? I'm teaching students, and I hope there are more and more students will like to play Go. For the whole Go community, I hope there would be more tournaments or more events for the people who like to play Go, and will have a more chance, more activity, and more opportunity to play Go with others. Yeah.
Cool, cool. Well, I
Mhm.
think that's a good place to wrap things up. I want to thank you again for being able to do this with me. Um, and I
Thank
think,
you, Kevin.
are you gonna do you have a internet channel like Haley or Nick or anything? Have you started trying to do that yet?
I haven't yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay, well, um, regardless, thank you very much. If you ever want to come up and talk about something else with Go, you're more than welcome. I'm Kevin, and that's Stephanie. The other way around, Stephanie. And thank you again for doing this. And bye, guys.
Bye.